Next up, a couple of guys who I think invented the phrase best friends forever. Sal Genilla, Mario Ballestrasse. We put Sal and Mario together for their induction because they were a special combination on the football field. Sal is a quarterback, Mario is the receiver. Regarding your career as a receiver at CSM, there appears to be three main ingredients in your success. Quarterback Dave Giannini, your freshman year, Sal Gianella, and then Tom Martinez, your coach. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And I would say probably quarterback-wise in that order. When I first got here at CSM, my brother Rico had to get me into class, get me to the school, get me signed up for classes. I just wanted to make the team. And he was nice enough to go out for the team with me. I wasn't so nice to him whenever he watched me on defense. And he's got to go against a big guy every day in practice, so he's like, oh, you got into school, I'm out of here. Dave Giannini, great quarterback, great offensive mind, used his abilities to put up some big numbers for CSM. And then Sal, well, look at him, 6'6", 6'5", whatever he is, got a gun for an arm, and I don't know what happened, how we got together where it just started working out. It just seemed like I'd go out and he'd find me, and we won a lot of games. Coach Tom, he taught me everything. You know, I wasn't the fastest guy out there, definitely wasn't the biggest guy out there. He taught me how to understand defenses. He taught me to run a route, catch a ball. Him and all the other coaches were just awesome.
Sal, in your career here at CSM, I think you gray-shirted your first year, and then you developed your skill as a quarterback. How did that progression go?
Well, in 1983, when I graduated from Aragon High School, I came up to College of San Mateo to work with a coach named Tom Martinez. Now, if anybody knows who Tom Martinez is, he was a very intimidating man to me, okay? There was two coaches that saw development and potential in me, and they both were here at the College of San Mateo. One of them is right there, Mr. John Nochi. I came up to play baseball first, football second. So real quick story, I know it's a little getting into overtime here. However, Tom asked me to come up to his office right here at the gymnasium in July. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to start for the College of San Mateo. So I get to the stadium, or I get to his office. He sits me down and he says, hey, this is our go-to play, 82 wide drag A shoot. And we can run it against cover 1, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4. And then he says to me, okay, Genilla, get on the board and put cover 2. I have the stare of a deer in the headlights. Because in Aragon, it was just numbers. Now at CSM, you know, everybody talks about discipline, sacrifice, go into detail from Coach Nochi to my former teammate Doug Williams, who's taken the helm. Tom would never, ever let me, I guess, be myself. He uses the words, I mean, there's a lot of Tom Martinez-isms that for the guys who played and the guys who played before me and the guys who played after me, we can go on and on and on, but I think it was the basketball player who talked about, and Mario, Bob Capozzello, and Terrell Harper, and Rod Barnes will attest to this. You know, it's like catching, excuse my French here, it's like catching a titty. So that's just the calm one of Tom Martinez. There was a lot of talk about, you know, hey Genilla, Well, better yet, hey, Alice. You know, the best one is P effing, and we're stinking the joint out. You know, and here's a real quick story. We were doing double days my sophomore year, and we were having a really bad practice. And Tom says to me, Genilla, get the F out of here. And I'm standing right there. And he goes, Genilla, get the F out of here. And I'm like, I'm still standing there. He goes, Genilla, I'm not going to tell you again. Get the F out of here. So after lunch, you know, because I lived in my parents' house on Key Hill Avenue, came back up for second practice, and everybody knows you got to walk by the office to get to the locker room, right? So I see Coach Tom in his office, and obviously I'm not as vocal and verbal as I am today. So I'm like, hey, Coach, can I talk to you? And he's like, yes, shut the door. I'm like, okay, now I'm in trouble again. So, and I said, did I do anything wrong to get kicked out of practice? And he said, no, you didn't get kicked out. The reason why I kicked you out is because you're the leader of this team. And if the leader can get kicked out, anybody can. So, I mean, I owe a lot to Tom Martinez. He taught me fundamentally sound about the fundamentals of the quarterback position, you know, defensive coverages. I mean, if it wasn't for my teammates, and I know I have a lot of teammates here, and I want to, you know, speak about them. Jeff Brown, my center. Jericho Tina, my right tackle. Kevin Matias, my right guard. Rod Barnes was a tight end. I had Bob Capizzello as a receiver. Terrell Harper as a receiver. Mark Kennedy was on the other side of the ball. Russell Patterson was on the other side of the ball. And some number, I don't know if he was number 1 or number 86 our sophomore year. So, sorry.
No, that's Mario, you caught 119 passes in 2 seasons here. Is there a particular game that stands out in your memory, or was there just so many great games they're hard to keep track of?
No, there's a couple games. I wouldn't say I was lucky. First game I ever played for CSM, Gary Holden got hurt before the game. They stick me back there to return kickoffs, and I'm scared. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And I've been done it my whole life, but guy kicks the ball off, I catch it. It's a middle return. I start running. Red Sea parts open, and I go 95 for a touchdown. And from there on, it just seemed to get better and better. I can remember going against, was it Deanza, the guy that knocked me out? Doing a fair catch, and my mom is here. She's going to be 90 years old in March, and she likes to talk from the stadium. So all through my sports, anytime I got hit or anything, I made sure I got up quick so Big Mama wouldn't come running on the field. So that was a game where I was fair catching it. Ball wasn't even on the way down. The guy ran me over, and I think my brother Rico showed up, and I was still snoring on the field. But yeah, it got me to the sidelines. My mom was all right. So that was another game that only time I ever thought of never getting up. And then my last game I played against was it Deanza? Deanza. I went 16 for 361 and 4 scores. So I had a lot of help.
That was 16 receptions for 360 something yards and 4 touchdowns in one game. It was a big game. But Sal, you had a couple of big games in your career. I know you had a giant game here at CSM, and then you had another big game after you left. Could you tell us about those?
Well, the first game, in regards to the CSM, was our last game together. We played against Deanza. But more importantly, someone else spoke about the teammates and the coaches. Yes, we won 62-56, but again, we were up by 8 points going into halftime. And Terrell Harper and I talk about this all the time. So, and even Andy Wilcox talked about it today, how, when we come in the locker room, offense goes one way, defense goes another way, and then we get back together. And all of a sudden, here it goes. Genilla, you got a helmet? Genilla, you got shoulder pads? I'll make it real short. Then throw the effing ball. Okay, so I don't know how many completions I had, maybe 32 or 36, but it was my game of my lifetime. I threw for almost, I think, 619 yards and 6 touchdowns. But it wasn't my doing. It's these guys right here that came to support me, because I wouldn't be up here and Mario wouldn't be up here if it wasn't my guys down here. And more importantly, I want to thank my dad and my girlfriend Amy and my sons Matthew and my sons Nolan. And a big shout out to Coach T here. Nolan's playing, he's a redshirt tight end at Saginaw Valley State. He's 6'6", 240. And yesterday was our first time here. And I didn't know this, Julian, but we're not allowed to wear red here. Okay? So Nolan's school is red. So Nolan and I are only wearing the red hoodies out here, and Nolan's sitting on the bench, and one of the kids say, hey, you're not supposed to wear red here. And he goes, I'm not playing here. I'm not a transfer. And so I walk out, and then Coach O and Coach T, well, Coach O says, Sal, you're not supposed to be wearing red. And I'm like, I never got the memo when I was here. And it was because of City College of San Francisco and also Foothill. So
I'm just going to go we're going to go real quick here. A quick assessment by Mario of Sal, Sal of Mario. If you were doing a scouting report on Sal, you were an opposing coach, what would be your quick report?
So many answers for that. I guess the correct one would be 3 down linemen, everybody else back, and make them hand the ball off. It's the only way you're going to stop them from throwing the ball.
Sal, what do you say about Mario if you're the defensive coordinator and you got to figure out how to stop him?
The one thing Mario brought, and most players today don't bring, is the smack talking. I don't know how it is in the NFL, but this, and excuse my French here, this white boy can talk the talk and back it up like anybody else. So if I was the opposing coach, the first thing I would try to do is knock him off the line and actually get his mouth shut. If you can do that, then he's done.
This is Sal Genilla. This is Mario Ballestrasse. They're now members of the elite College of San Mateo Athletic Hall of Fame. Best friends forever. Congratulations. Thank you.